Welcome to our 3C Software Customer Success Podcast Series. We're excited today to have Mr. Steve Allen with us. Steve is the Manager of Cost Accounting at Takata Restraint Systems. He's been a customer of ours for a long time, and we really enjoy having him. So we know that he's going to share a lot of great information about Takata and how they're using Impact ECS. So welcome, Steve. Thanks for joining the call.
Well, thank you, Stacy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, let's just get right to it. Why don't you tell some of our listeners a little bit about Takata and what you guys do?
Well, our core business is we're a tier one supplier to the automotive industry. Our core business is safety restraints. We actually produce and manufacture the airbag modules. We also manufacture the inflator devices that go in the airbag modules. We do all types of modules, passenger side, driver side, head side curtain. We also manufacture steering wheels, and we also manufacture seat belts. So that is our core business.
Right, so you guys have quite a few different products, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, and it's a variety of different manufacturing processes that we're involved with. Some of it's simple assembly, some of it's chemical related, and explosive related. So we're involved in a lot of different aspects of manufacturing.
How many manufacturing locations do you guys have?
We have currently 4 facilities in Mexico that are airbag related, and we have 1 facility that is in Mexico that is both airbag and inflator related. We have 1 facility in Washington State that manufactures the generant, or the propellant that we call it, for the inflator manufacturing. For the seat belt side, we currently have a stamping facility in San Antonio, Texas, and then we have an additional 3 facilities, I believe, in Mexico.
So you're all over North America.
We're all over North America. We have a corporate office, of course, in Greensboro, North Carolina, 1 in San Antonio, and then another in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
Excellent. Well, maybe you can tell us, Steve, a little bit about some of the costing challenges that you guys had at Takata, and what sorts of things are issues for you and your group when dealing with costs?
Well, initially, when we started looking at Impact for our costing system, we were using, and still continue to use, a system called PRMS. It's an AS400 based, it's on AS400 mainframe, and the PRMS is an old software. I guess it was originally Pan-Sophic, but it limited us in what we could do in the detail that we wanted to see. One of our main issues is that we're a multi-plant environment, as I discussed earlier about our different manufacturing facilities, and what we do. We have maybe 1 facility that manufactures, for instance, you take the inflators, for instance. We manufacture the propellant in Moses Lake, Washington. We then ship that down to Mexico to be assembled in the inflators. And we lost some visibility with the system on the AS400 in that they were multi-plant environments, and we could not we could not cross plants with our cost. We could not determine what was, in other words, if a propellant went from Moses Lake to down to Mexico, it became just a regular purchased component when it got down to the inflator assembly plant in Mexico. And we wanted to be able to see that that was a manufactured component, and we wanted to be able to determine what portion of that manufactured component in Moses Lake or Washington was material, and what portion of it was what we refer to as process cost. And we were not able to do that with our then current mainframe system at that time, and we still can't do it. but we've since then, obviously added impact, and we're able to see that in our cost. We're able to now determine what that is. So we have a much greater level of detail by using impact than we've ever been able to have before. So, and that was the primary goal when we initially purchased impact. Now we've since expanded its use as we've gotten more comfortable with it, and we've become increasingly satisfied with what we've done, and the consultants at 3C have been great to show us what we can do and make that happen for us. So, Stacy, you want me to elaborate further on what we're doing now?
Yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you guys use the system on a day-to-day basis, sort of who's using impact and in what ways and what kind of data they're getting out of the system?
Well, where our current setup is we manage the cost, and when I say cost, standard cost and current cost as well, out of one central corporate location. So the way we're using it right now on a day-to-day basis is it runs in parallel with our MRP, MPS system, our general ledger, whatever. We still value our inventory and do all our manufacturing day-to-day operations out of PRMS, which is on the 400. But what we do with impact and the way it operates on a day-to-day basis is we actually cost all new products that come on, and the amount of plants we have a significant amount of new part numbers that come on each day. So basically our day-to-day operations are building bill of materials in PRMS. The way we're set up and the way we have impact set up is that it uses PRMS and the AS400 as a database for materials. So once we set up the bill of material, we get all the components costed within PRMS. We then assign our process cost with impact. So impact brings in the material cost from PRMS. It assigns our process cost within impact, and we're able to download that back into our mainframe, into the routers for each part number. This is basically what we do as a daily maintenance. And in other words, we still value our inventory out of PRMS, but we first value that inventory with impact before we put it back into PRMS. So in other words, the two of them are parallel. The costs tie in both of the databases, both impact and PRMS. That is pretty much what we do on a daily basis, but this prepares us to do forecasting on a monthly basis. It also prepares us to do budgeting on a yearly basis, and it also prepares us to run some of the closing reports out of impact on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
So probably, I think it's been 3 years ago now, we had our models redesigned, or our cost model here in the airbag group redesigned, and we did that with the assistance of Paul Nalawaka, and we've been extremely pleased with the model that he designed for us. It's allowed us to have visibility with our cost of sales. One of the issues that we had with being that we're a multi-plant environment and we ship product from plant to plant, and the sales, like for instance our propellant plant does not have, it could not record the sale to say our inflator plant in Mexico.
Mhm.
So we were unable to really accurately track what portion of the sale of an inflator belonged to our plant in Washington State or our propellant plant, because basically it was a cost center. So what we could now do with this new design, we were able to tell based on the volume of inflators that we sold each month, we could tell what portion of that sale belonged to our propellant plant in Washington State. So it's really changed the way we were able to to put together our P&L,
Mhm.
to report on our variance section. So and it's going to allow us maybe to expand this or at least we're looking to expand it maybe into some of our other businesses. So we've really been pleased with it over the last couple of years, especially with the new design. And we're always looking to improve how we use it and become more efficient with it. So, and we feel like we've really made some strides in that in the last couple of years.
How long was the redesign process, sort of from when you guys decided maybe we need to change the way we manage this part of our business? How long did that process take?
It was, Tracy, Stacy, excuse me, I'm getting old. I can't remember like I used to. This a couple of years ago. I think it was probably a 3-month period of time. We
Okay.
set aside. We came up with a plan that we wanted a plan of action, I guess, if you will, that we in a direction that we wanted to go with it. And we were really unsure if the capabilities were there. And when we were able to sit down with Paul and he went through what he could do and we went through with him how we wanted to use it, it was really a smooth implementation. We obviously continued to use our old model, which was still very effective, but we used and obviously created a new model and built this pretty elaborate system, we think, to get us what we need. So basically what we came out of this was an excellent cost of sale program that we basically control at the corporate level. We send to the plant level their journal entries for cost of sales every month. It's we pretty much are able to create this information out of impact in a very short period of time. Matter of fact, it's the first day of close, which normally it would have taken maybe the third day before we could garner this information. So it not only takes maybe one person a half a day to give the 4 to 5 plants that we have that are using this, the information that they need from what we call earned production. We also give them that. It takes a half a day to get them that. It takes maybe the end of the first day to get them the cost of sale. So it's saved a lot of man hours once we develop this type of model. So.
Right, that's 2 days that you can give back to doing some more analysis or another function.
Exactly.
Excellent. So as we sort of get to the end of our chat today, maybe you can share with me a little bit about some of the bigger benefits that Impact has allowed Takata to enjoy in terms of managing the business or understanding or learning something new that maybe you didn't know before you had access to this detailed information.
Well, obviously, and you know what I said earlier, the big issue that we had initially was not being able to have that view from a multi-plant environment like we're in. You know, we didn't have that, and that initially allowed us a tremendous amount more visibility when we got Impact up and running. Another issue that we have or that we had back initially was our P&L was set up such a way that we had to consolidate some of our cost of sales that we wanted to be more detailed on our P&L, and once we initiated Impact, we were able to have that because, and let me explain that a little bit. We had, like, for instance, our mainframe PRMS system, it only allows us 5 burden buckets. And I think this may be pretty common with mainframe systems. I've not worked with a lot, but I'm familiar with SAP. But the strength of Impact, it allows you multiple burden buckets. I don't know, it may be an infinite amount of them, but pretty much we could have an entire overhead schedule. We could really have a burden bucket for each line that we have on our overhead schedule, which is a tremendous amount of detail. I mean, we could look at it but I guess what I'm driving at is the detail that Impact provided us was just phenomenal. We were not used to looking at cost in the detail that we do today. Initially, that was what we were looking for from it, and then over the years, you know, we've got our main purpose was once we got in and we got Impact in and we got comfortable with it, and of course the more 3C developed it as well, they added additional tools to it that we were able to come and you guys were good to keep us updated on the additional, you know, tools that were available to us, and as you guys expanded, I think we were able to expand its use as well. So we're very pleased with where we are with it now, and I don't think that we have. I still don't think we've reached its potential yet. And so we're continuously looking for ways to improve its efficiency and therefore our efficiency.
Right. So, well, those are all things that we love to hear, and I know our developers are appreciative of the shout out of all the tools that as they continue to develop them, they become more useful to you for sure.
I know one thing that we're looking to do now. I know you guys are with the new technology. We also run the web client because it's beneficial to our plant people that can get cost sheets, and and they don't. It's right now it's not as intuitive as the desktop version, but I was very encouraged by the last development meeting that we were a part of that's about to change, I think, with the next revision. So we're looking forward to that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you'll be excited to see the new web client functionality.
yeah, right, and believe it or not, we're probably going to make some. We're actually in the process of making some decisions based on that new development too. So it's we're excited about what we're doing with Impact, and we're excited about the continued use of it, and maybe even the expansion of it. So it's been good for us.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for sharing your thoughts about Impact ECS and how it's helped you guys at Takata. I really appreciate your sharing your experience with us, and we appreciate your participating in our podcast series. So thanks so much.
Sure, glad to do it. Thank you.